What's up, y'all? TBrown31 here with JaboctheGreat. Once again, we are back with the last word. Another weekend in college football and the NFL. We're going to start with college football this week. A game that we both picked incorrectly here, the Red River Showdown between Texas and Oklahoma. It was a really good game from start finish, with Oklahoma getting a 34-30 victory with a touchdown within the last minute of the game to drop number 3 Texas.
Yeah, fun game. We weren't wrong in the fact that it would be close. I think we both were looking for a good game, and we got one. But we were wrong on the winner. So that was so that's a little unfortunate, but still we were treated to some really good football. Let's look at it on paper first. Dylan Gabriel has a monster day for the Sooners. He was 23 for 38, 285 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. Does lead the Sooners on the ground though. I'm not in like he got like 30 yards and nobody else got any. No, he got 113 yards and a touchdown. Massive day for the Oklahoma quarterback. Tubby Walker was behind him in rushing with 46 yards and 2 TDs. Good day for him as well. Nothing to be upset about. Jaleel Farouk leads in the air with 130 yards, but the only passing TD would actually go to Nick Anderson at the very end of the game. And he finished the day with 1 reception, 3 yards, and a game-winning touchdown. It's not a box score to be mad at if you're Nick Anderson. Did all he needed to do. Gentry Williams would end up recovering a Quinn Ewers fumble, and he would pick off Quinn Ewers, and then Kendall Dobie would also pick off Quinn Ewers, and they would do that on the first 2 drives of the game for the Longhorns. Not a great start for them. For the Longhorns, Quinn Ewers goes 31 for 37, which looks really, really good, and is pretty good. 346 yards. Unfortunately, he would go 1 for 2 touchdown interception, so not the best day at the office for that. As far as he only missed 6 passes, which is pretty good, but 2 of those end up being picks. It's not a great day on that one. Jonathan Brooks, though, has a big day, 129 yards on the ground and a touchdown. Georgia Whittington and Xavier Worthy both broke 100 yards on the day, with Whittington getting 115 and Worthy getting 108. It would be Gunnar Helm that brought in the touchdown in the air. He finished with 67 yards on the day. And then Malik Muhammad scored a touchdown on a blocked punt, which is actually how Texas got the game going. Ewers those 2 picks. In between those picks, Oklahoma gets a touchdown, and then they're able to block the punt and score and start the game off. And goes up from there. It's a shootout pretty much the whole way through. The rest of the game, there's a few more mistakes here and there, but overall, that allows it. That block punt allows it to be 7-7. There's some equal footing there, and then you get 10-7, 14-7, 17-14. They start trading. They go into the halftime with Oklahoma just up a little bit. Maybe gets to get a little out of hand seemingly after that, but Texas starts to climb back, and of course, as Dan mentioned, touchdown in the last minute of the game is going to put it to bed for the Longhorns, and they, I think, fell to 9. I believe Oklahoma went up to 5. So good day in college football. We've been excited to see Texas back. I didn't really have a dog in this fight, but I was kind of maybe hoping to see Texas stay up a little bit more. That might have just been a nail in the coffin, depending on how the rankings treat Texas. But I'm glad we got a good day of a good early game of football this Saturday.
Yeah, first of all, this might not be, top flight analysis here, but Dylan Gabriel is definitely him. Like you said, he led the team in rushing. A lot of times whenever you see quarterbacks lead in rushing, it's like, like you said, 30, 40 yards, 100-something yards. Like, they could not get this man on the ground. And when it's a game this close, it really just comes down to the few mistakes by each team and which mistakes end up costing them in the end, and which team makes the most. And this could have gotten very out of hand, like real fast for Texas. I mean, literally the second play of the game, Quinn Ewers throws an interception. That was a bad pass. And immediately Oklahoma, they get a touchdown off of that. And then they go down all the way inside the red zone. And then you get a bad pass that's picked off. And it's like, my God, this is about as bad as the game could start for Texas. You throw 2 interceptions, you get a quick score for Oklahoma. And even though they're backed up, we know Oklahoma's offense can get down the field. And it probably could have happened if they didn't get that blocked punt, which kind of reignited Texas, like you said, and they were able to tie it up there. But it could have went way worse just off of those 2 interceptions. Again, one was batted. The other one was just a bad decision from Quinn Ewers. Can't have that, considering how good he's been this season, especially, with the Alabama game. I just was a little surprised from him so early in the game there. And then you had a fumble later on by Texas, um, by Quint Ewers again. So that was another mistake by him. And then later on, when they were down in the red zone again, they had 4 chances from the Oklahoma one. Watching the game, like this is frustrating. I'm not. Like, we didn't root for either team. Like you said, I would have liked to see Texas at least stay up top a little bit more. But maybe this will make things more interesting. With Oklahoma jumping as high as they did, more likely than not, this will be a rematch in the championship game now, since it's no divisions. It's just going to be top teams in it. Whoever gets the top 2 seeds, they'll play. So probably see a rematch in the Big 12 title game. But that's goal line stand for Oklahoma was a really key point in the game, even though they missed the field goal coming back. The fact that they were on the 1, ran up the middle, nothing. Ran to the right, nothing. Ran up the middle, nothing. And then you're getting you're backed up now to the 2. So you had 3 chances there, excuse me, but you get nothing there. It's just like you cannot waste these opportunities like that. You get away there. At that point, it was still 27-20. So it's like if Oklahoma had gone down and got a touchdown there, game probably would have been over. And it's just those things really that kind of screwed them in this game. They did have that little bit of a run after they missed the field goal. Oklahoma did that touchdown. It was tied up. They had another good drive late, 60 yards to get the lead. But it's like Texas, outside of that little point there, and then when they were leading, 14-10 after their touchdown, it just felt like Texas was kind of just barely in it the whole time, but very close to Oklahoma taking a pretty commanding lead. And this one definitely has to be frustrating for Texas fans because you take away those mistakes there, you probably could have won this game. You only lost by 4 points, but it is what it is. You have to give credit to Oklahoma, especially again Dylan Gabriel. He played standing, throwing the ball, and running the ball. And defensively, the stands, getting the interceptions, the goal line stand, and then obviously at the end of the game, not that much time anyway, but not letting Texas get down, doing anything. You have to give them a lot of credit for how well they played. And I'd say I was a little bit surprised to see them jump that high to 5, but I mean, considering you did beat the number 3 team who already beat Alabama, so I get that rationale. I don't know if it's hard to say, whether or not they should have been above Penn State, considering how well they've been playing. But I mean, Penn State hasn't beat anybody that good yet, obviously. Not as good as Texas. I will see when they play Ohio State pretty soon. But yeah, where Texas goes from here, I think they will probably be in the Big 12 championship game. It'll be a rematch against Oklahoma, more likely than not. As of now, they don't face any more ranked teams the rest of the way. So I think they do regroup and they'll be fine going forward. But, obviously now Oklahoma can't beat you. And we talked about it. This game wasn't going to go like it did last year. We knew that for sure. On Oklahoma's side, they've got West Virginia and Kansas. West Virginia not ranked right now, but they're good. Kansas, they're barely ranked. They just lost to Texas last week. So we'll see how things turn out in the Big 12. But yeah, you have to give Oklahoma all the credit in the world for how they played.
Yeah, I mean, just a massive game, especially from Dylan Gabriel, but the whole team does a good job. I mean, that defense, as you said, that goal line stand is incredible. There's maybe some criticism to bring to the Texas coaching staff for running almost the exact same play over and over again. But I mean, you're on the 1, right? So what are the odds that your guy who's racking up 130 yards can't get through and get you a touchdown? It's just a bit of an unfortunate circumstance for them. But really, really good defense from Oklahoma on that one. And yeah, I mean, I think if this comes down to be the Big 12 championship, which is very, very likely, that's what Tech's gonna have to look at. They're gonna look at those mistakes they clean up, or that they need to clean up, right? Because overall, this game, despite the fact that they lose on a last-minute touchdown, I mean, it's winnable, right? There's a lot of room to have some more momentum going their way, clean out some of those turnovers, but also you got to contain Dylan Gabriel, right? Massive day for him. big props to him for getting 113 yards on the ground as a quarterback. Only on 14 carries as well, averaged 8 per carry. It was insane. Had a 44-yard rushing explosion. But you can't let that happen again, right? So Texas, if this is going to come down to be the Big 12 championship, and if they want to win that one, if they want to get it back against Oklahoma and then take the Red River Rivalry again, they're gonna have to look at a lot of things that went wrong in this game, and some of it comes to be their own mistakes. Some of it is just defensive blunders, letting the wrong people pop off. You don't really want to have Jalil Farouk get 130 yards on 5 receptions. It's not really ideal either. So there's a lot of things that Texas could have cleaned up in this game and could have easily won. And if they beat Oklahoma, they're for sure going to stay up, in that top 4 range. It'd be interesting to see if Oklahoma fights to get into that area and where Texas ends up finishing. Texas, again, like you said, no more ranked opponents, so they should be able to coast and stay up in the top 10. But it'd be interesting to see how far up they're able to climb. And then Oklahoma has one guaranteed at the moment. I mean, they could fall off. One ranked matchup with Kansas on the way, and then a good West Virginia team. So we might see how they fare and see how the rankings treat them. But this has a really interesting effect on the end of the college football season. We could have seen Texas in that top 4 and potentially in a playoff position, and now we may not, just from this one little blunder against the rival. So fun football, good football all around, even with the mistakes. It's just a really good game for Oklahoma's defense. Oklahoma's offense did a great job. So big props to Oklahoma for kind of gathering themselves after what they took from Texas last year and bouncing back.